Hey friends, happy May 26th. Hope you're doing well. I'm Wendy Pope, and this is Read Through the Word. If you have your Bibles, that's wonderful. We are going to be in 1 Kings 4. Our key verse is verse 20, and we're talking about the concept of what do we do when, well, hold on. Let's just go back to Genesis 12:7. That's way back in our early days, y'all. That was like the first week almost, maybe the second week, third week of our reading. Oh heavens. You know what? Just for fun, let me go back over there and just see when that was. That was, oh my, let's see. It is the first week. It is the, oh, let's see. Okay. It is the first week. It is so exciting to see how far we've come. But going back to that verse, Abram has separated from his family, and he has answered God's call to go to a place that he doesn't know. He's never been there before. He doesn't even know where he's going, but God says go. And he is gone to Egypt, and he's out of Egypt, and he comes back, and he's having this conversation with the Lord, and he says, Lord, I don't have an heir. I don't have anyone to leave all this to. I guess I'm going to have to leave it to my servant Eliezer. And God takes him outside, and he just does this great show and tell demonstration with Abram. At this point, his name was Abram. And he says, look up there. Can you just imagine having a conversation with God, just standing up there looking at the very God who created what you're looking at? Oh my goodness. And him just saying, you know what, Wendy, just look, or Linda or Sue or whatever, whoever, just look. And he says to Abram, just look up there. And then he talks about the fulfillment and the plan that he has for his life. And he says, I'm going to multiply your descendants beyond number, like the stars in the sky. All these stars that you see up there that I put up there, your descendants are going to be a greater number than what you see here. And they're going to be greater than the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will conquer the cities of their enemies. And I love that moment that he had. And here we see this picture where, and this I almost missed this. I really did. I almost missed this in our reading. In verse 20 of 1 Kings 4, the people of Judah and Israel were as numerous as the sand on the seashore. The direct fulfillment of Genesis 12:7 has happened. The words are the same. Sand on the seashore. They were very contented with plenty to eat and drink. Well, what's wrong with that, right? What's wrong with that? God said it. He did it. He fulfilled it. And here they are. The fulfillment of God's promise in their life has occurred. So what's wrong with that? Going forward, you'll see what happens with God's people. So I believe we just need to park here for a minute and let's just talk about some caution. I've heard people say, oh, they're very content in their faith. They just have this peaceful look and this peaceful demeanor about them, that they're very, very contented in their faith. And I am going to contend, I'm going to argue that being content in our faith is dangerous. Yes, trusting God, and yes, that's good. And having peace in where we are and whatever season is occurring in our life and whatever's going on, there's a peace there, yes. But contentment paints the picture of just being, and in fact, it says in the dictionary, feeling or showing satisfaction of one's possessions and status and situation. Well, shouldn't we feel satisfied? I'm arguing that we should never feel satisfied. I am arguing and contending with the fact that we should never feel content in our faith. Because the moment we feel content and satisfied at where we are in our faith is the moment we let our guard down. And when we let our guard down, we become vulnerable to the ways and the whims of this world, to the beckoning of all that this world has to offer. We become vulnerable to our enemy. We can't rest in our faith. We can't let our guard down. And here's the other thing that I believe happens as well when we get to that place where we see a fulfillment, God's fulfillment in a promise that he's made to us, is that we attempt to live a double life. We do. We're double-minded, and we, okay, well, I can have my committed faith, and I can have my quiet times with God, and my insatiable passion for his word. I can have all of those things. Oh, but I can also have all of this. No, you can't. God is very clear when he writes to the churches through John, you cannot be hot or cold. Or you can only be hot or cold. You can't be lukewarm. And when we attempt to live a double life, that means living in the fulfillment of God's promise, but also living in what the world offers us. We're lukewarm. And it happens without us even noticing, until we are so far from God, slidden away from God, allowing ourselves to be satisfied with the ways of the world and no longer with the power of the word. We're in trouble. So what I want to suggest is, when the promise is fulfilled, we do exactly what we did before it was filled. We continue to pursue Christ as we did before the promise was fulfilled. We continue to obey God. We continue to study his word, and we continue to pray just as we did before. I included some verses there about our enemy, and we have got to take him seriously. He takes his mission seriously, so we've got to take him seriously. We've got to be sober-minded. We've got to be watchful. And realize that we are not wrestling with flesh and blood, that we are wrestling with the principalities and the rulers of darkness and spiritual forces that are in this world. Yes, we can enjoy the fullness and the goodness of God. And yes, we can celebrate his wondrous worth and wondrous works. And we can lean back into the comfort of his arms and his plan and his purpose for our life. But we have to resist contentment and continue to pursue God, or we will fall back into patterns, pre-promise fulfillment patterns, but also into patterns and ways of this world. And y'all, I'm just going to tell you, that's the losing side. And we are victors, and victors don't go on the losing side. You're a victor, and I'm a victor. We are victorious. And in order to maintain our victory status, this is what we have to do. This is the way we have to live. We cannot rest on our faith, in our faith. We cannot let our guard down, and we by no means can live and attempt to live a double life. It will not work. We will be miserable. And if we aren't, well, that's a whole nother situation. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.